Hello everybody. I just went running. It's Saturday. I just went running. Just went out for a 5-mile run in the middle of the day in the direct sun around Back Cove. Because that's my social distance strategy. I figure that if I go out running in the middle of the day in direct sun when it's super hot, no one else is dumb enough to do that. So there's no one else around. I don't have to worry about getting too close to other people. Because nobody else is dumb enough to go running when it's, I don't know, whatever, 90 degrees or something like that. And there's no water. All the water fountains are shut off because the city is worried about people spreading coronavirus, I guess, through the water fountains. So, oh, a bird. Hello, bird. Cat bird. Anyway, E Grino. This just arrived the other day. So I am here to tell you a story. The story of this E Grino, and I'm even got a visual aid here. So, without further ado, I'm gonna pop this thing open. Here's a lovely picture of Fausto Cellario there on it. This is Grignolino, a traditional grape from Piedmont that is fantastic, and you just don't see often enough. I don't know, because it doesn't even say Grignolino on here. Anyway, there's two G's in it. It's that G-N-O, Grignolino, that I guess it's hard for Americans to pronounce. And also, it's a pale red wine. You can see that I have this chilled. It's red, it's red wine, like skin contact and everything. But it's you know, you want to, I don't know, sort of drink it with a chill. Like, it's not rosé, but sort of kind of treat it like rosé. Look, behold the Grignolino, and it's a liter bottle in clear glass, which is great, but I'll get to that. So Grignolino is an awesome traditional grape from Piedmont. It makes kind of light red wine, but it's always like a little bit peppery and like spicy and stuff like that too. I guess I should just drink the wine and talk about it. Oh God, I love the way it smells. It smells like sour cherries and cranberry and raspberry. It's not super juicy though. It's like bright and fresh. Anyway though, so years ago, 2017 I believe it was, I went to Italy with Matt Molo from Selection Naturelle and some other wonderful, lovely, fantastic people. We drove around in a van. It was crazy. We drove all over central and northern Italy. And one of the stops, we went and we visited Fausto Cellario here, and we got there, got to his winery. We were walking around, talking to him, looking at, his tanks, and his sons were running around having a great time and stuff. And there were bottles of all of his wines on the wall, and there was a bottle of Grignolino, and we'd never gotten the Grignolino in America before. And I was like, oh, Grignolino, I love Grignolino. Like, we should get that. That would be so cool to import it. And everybody else was sort of like, Grignolino is really cool, but Americans just can't handle Grignolino. They just can't. Oh, no. They just, no. It's too different. It's too light in color. It's pale. You drink it with a chill. It's hard to say. Americans just cannot do Grignolino. And I got on my high horse and I was like, look, wine people, we are wine professionals. It's our job to tell the American people what they want. It is our job to find cool things that we believe in, that we're passionate about, and take a stand and get those wines to American people. So we had this whole back and forth about Grignolino and whether or not we should import it. We dropped that, blah, 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 stuff happened. We had dinner. There was an entire platter of steak tartare. I will never forget that. I ate 2 pounds of steak tartare. It was amazing. But then, after we drank a lot of wine, and then we drank a lot of grappa, grappa di sfuso, grappa from the ditch, as Fausto translated it. Everybody was drunk. We came back to Grignolino, and we kept talking about it, and we agreed that, you know what? We should do it. We should bring Grignolino into America and get Americans excited about it. Not only that, we should put it in a clear glass liter bottle, because that would make it awesome and exciting and get Americans to do it. And we actually, Matt Molo took an empty A Bianco bottle, and we'd drunk all the wine, and he dumped a bunch of Grignolino into it and was like, look at this, oh, it's perfect. Yeah, and so now it took however many months, but, you know, like 3 or 4 months later, like, Fausto did it, and we actually had A Grino, and now this is, I forget, this must be like the 3rd vintage of it, I think. Yeah, sour cherry. Yeah, it's not, I don't know. It's just a tiny, tiny bit. The finish is like, because it's real wet red wine, and I don't know, it's a Grignolino thing. There's this little peppery, little like nice bitterness, like hint of bitterness to the finish. It's like, oh, what am I thinking of? Yeah, it's like tart cherry, like maraschino cherry, like the flavor, not the sweetness. It's not sweet at all. Yeah, very, very fresh, like crisp, tart, sort of cherry, little tiny bit of pepper, smooth, fresh, uplifting, refreshing wine. Fausto is an awesome guy. Fausto is crazy and does all kinds of fun stuff like this. Here's my visual aid. So I saw this poster at the winery, and it made an impression on me because what is this poster? What is happening here? Look at this. I don't know if you can even see the whole thing, but look. So there's that guy who looks like he hasn't been getting enough oxygen or something like that. I don't know. And he has these giant hands. And then there's this guy who looks like a model, and he has a belt of machine gun bullets hanging out of a pocket. And then over here you have Fausto Cellario. There's Fausto. Who are these guys? What are they doing hanging out like in this alleyway? And they just randomly have a bottle of A Rosso down there, which is Barbera, but that's the progenitor of the whole E stuff line of wines. But anyway, I saw this poster, and then it randomly says drink responsibly up there in the corner too, and I was like, this poster is amazing because it makes no sense at all, and I love it. And so I remembered it. It stuck with me. I got back to America, and it was like, I don't know, 2 years later or something, I was still thinking about this poster, and finally I was like, I've got to have that poster. And so I wrote to Fausto, and I was like, Fausto, anything I have to do, like, would you send me one of those posters? I'll happily, I don't know, do anything to get it, but I have to have one of these posters. And Fausto sent me one, and I got it framed, and it is just amazing, and I love it. I love that Fausto does stuff like that. Like this, that just does not make sense, but it's great. It is beautiful and brilliant, partially because it does not make sense. Grignolino in a liter bottle. So juicy and tart and refreshing. It's just like exactly what I want to drink on a hot day. Sort of kind of actually reminds me of the Viña Maitia Alpa Pipeño from Chile, but I don't even know why I'm saying that because there's actually no point to me saying that. Fausto's a wonderful person. He makes about 30,000 cases of wine a year, I want to say, 25, 30,000. You know, works generally organically, ferments with natural yeast. He's a very creative, hardworking guy who's always trying, like, he's open to trying new things like this, like putting wine in liter bottles. He's just always sort of like looking to like naturally, sort of organically, like by evolution, like improve what he does. I love him. I love his wines. You should go get some of this, or the A Bianco, or the A Rosso, or really any of these wines that you can find. I feel like I've said everything that there is to say. I'm gonna go and like do some other work somewhere with trucks now. Bye, everybody.